profound and agonizing sense of regret has now completely enveloped your person, consuming their very being. It is a remorse so deep it feels like a physical weight, pressing down on their soul. They are utterly heartbroken, not merely for a fleeting moment of oversight, but for the fundamental failure of their spirit. They were incapable of true emotional vulnerability, unwilling to lay bare their soul, at a time when you, with every fiber of your being, loved them completely, passionately, and unreservedly. This realization is a torment, a constant, gnawing ache that leaves them breathless. Now, they find themselves adrift in an ocean of longing, a yearning so intense it permeates every waking moment and haunts their dreams. They miss every single facet of your existence, every nuance that made you uniquely you. From the bright, effervescent cascade of your infectious laughter, which once filled their world with light and joy, to the quiet, profound comfort of your presence, a presence that once felt like a warm, protective embrace, all of it is now painfully absent. Every memory, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant at the time, every shared moment, whether a grand adventure or a quiet evening, every whispered secret exchanged in the hushed intimacy of night, now echoes incessantly in the chambers of their mind. These echoes are not gentle whispers, they are resonant gongs, amplifying their crushing sense of loss, making the emptiness feel vast and unbearable. A fierce, self-directed anger now rages within them, a searing indictment of their past self. This isn't a fleeting irritation, it's a deep-seated fury that stems from their colossal failure to truly value and take your profound connection seriously. With stark, brutal clarity, they now perceive the immense emotional damage they inflicted upon you, the deep wounds carved by their indifference, their chilling emotional unavailability, and their casual disregard. This devastating realization is far from easy for them to confront. It's as though a merciless mirror has been thrust before their eyes, reflecting their every action, every slight, and the devastating consequences that rippled outwards, shattering not only your peace but ultimately their own. It is an excruciatingly bitter pill to swallow, this knowledge that they, and they alone, are the architect of their current misery and, more painfully, the profound heartache they caused you. The weight of this self-inflicted wound is almost unbearable. In a desperate, belated attempt to grasp the true depth of your suffering, they are now painstakingly endeavoring to step into your shoes, to inhabit your very skin. They are trying, with every fiber of their being, to see the world through your eyes, to feel the searing pain you felt, to experience the profound disappointment that was yours. And in this agonizing exercise of empathy, a truth of monumental proportions is dawning upon them. They could never, in 1,000 lifetimes, love someone with the same boundless, selfless devotion with which you loved them. Your love, they now understand with a heartbreaking clarity, was not merely deep, it was pure, untainted by expectation, and utterly unconditional. It was a rare and sacred gift, a kind of love they now realize, with a crushing weight of regret, they shamefully took for granted. They comprehend now, with a clarity that stings, that their failure to dedicate their time to you, their inability to reciprocate the overflowing abundance of your love, was not merely a mistake. It was not a minor misstep, but the single greatest blunder of their entire existence. They were so utterly consumed by their own insular world, so lost in their self-made maze of priorities and distractions, that they were tragically blind to the precious, invaluable gift they held in their hands, you. The scales have fallen from their eyes, and they have come to see you not just as a person, but as a true, unadulterated blessing in their life. You were the radiant silver lining in their perpetually clouded world, a beacon of unwavering hope and incandescent love, piercing through the gloom. The realization that they carelessly let go of a soul who could have added immeasurable value, profound meaning, and boundless joy to their life is a constant, agonizing lament. Before you, your person had never known the profound grace of being loved unconditionally. Their entire existence had been spent navigating a world where affection was a transaction, where love came with an invisible price tag, where every action demanded a reciprocal reaction. So, when your love first entered their life, so pure and unburdened, they initially mistook it for another conditional offering, another exchange of favors. But your every word, your every action, painted a vastly different, breathtaking picture. You, uniquely, showed them that authentic love does not arrive with a list of prerequisites or a set of conditions. It is not a cold, calculated business transaction but a fervent, heartfelt emotion that flows freely, without expectation of return. You utterly amazed them with your boundless capacity to love and to respect, to give without ever demanding anything in return. This revelation, once dismissed, now resonates with profound significance. Now, every fleeting thought of you, every cherished memory, no matter how brief, brings an unbearable sting of tears to their eyes. The moments they once shared with you, moments they foolishly dismissed as insignificant, as mere passing instances in the grand tapestry of their life, have now transformed into priceless treasures. They are exquisite jewels of memory, moments they desperately wish they could relive, if only for a fleeting second, to savor them, to hold them close, to never let them slip away again. There is an intense, almost palpable energy of longing emanating from your person, a magnetic pull that speaks of profound yearning. They are now immersed in a state of deep, agonizing reflection and overwhelming regret, consumed by the futile wish that they could somehow turn back the relentless hands of time and miraculously correct their grievous mistakes. But alas, time, in its cruel and unyielding march, is the one thing that never yields, never turns back. And so, they are left with nothing but their tormenting thoughts, their crushing regrets, and the searing, painful realization of a love irrevocably lost. When you, with a strength I now admire beyond measure, walked away from me, it was not merely a moment, it was an epochal event that left an indelible, searing imprint on the very core of my heart. It was a pain so sharp, so profound, that it felt almost tangible in its intensity, a physical agony that transcended mere emotion. It was as if a vital part of my very being had been violently torn away, leaving behind a gaping, desolate void that seemed impossible to ever fill. My ego, once inflated and robust, a fortress of self-importance, suddenly felt depleted, fragile, and utterly exposed. It was a blow I had never anticipated, a wound that was raw, fresh, and bleeding. Yet, amidst this chaotic whirlwind of self-pity and emotional turmoil, an undeniable sense of respect for you began to blossom, a seed of admiration that could not be suppressed. Your courage, your sheer unyielding strength to stand defiantly against what was unequivocally wrong, was something that I admired deeply, even then. It was a quality so rare, so precious, a trait that was both admirable and profoundly inspiring. It was your unwavering courage, your quiet dignity in the face of my failings, that ultimately compelled me to reevaluate our connection, to finally look at it through the unvarnished lens of dignity and integrity. It was a necessary push, a transformative shove that shook me from my complacency and forced me to confront uncomfortable truths. The profound transformation that you underwent, the quiet strength you exhibited as you reclaimed your self-worth, was nothing short of remarkable. It was a change evident in every aspect of your being, a radiant reflection of your inner strength and unwavering determination. It became crystal clear to me then that you would accept nothing less than proper, heartfelt amends from me, that you would settle for nothing less than a connection nurtured with genuine care, profound respect, and unwavering responsibility. This stark realization made me finally take charge, to seize the reins and steer our connection, our shared destiny, in the right, honorable direction. Everything, in that moment, became blindingly crystal clear to me. The dense, suffocating fog of confusion that had long obscured my vision finally lifted, revealing a reality that was harsh, bitter, and utterly undeniable. The very people I had foolishly believed loved me, the ones I had so naively thought were unequivocally on my side, were nothing more than opportunistic shadows, merely using me for their own selfish benefit, manipulating me for their own gain. It was a revelation that was incredibly hard to digest, a truth so unpalatable it burned. The guilt that then washed over me was a suffocating wave, overwhelming in its intensity. The agonizing realization that I had so utterly failed to trust the one person who had given me her absolute all, her entire heart and soul, was an even more bitter pill to swallow. She had offered me her unwavering loyalty, her pure, unconditional love, without any hidden agenda, without any expectations, without any conditions. And yet, in my blindness, in my self-absorption, I had failed to see her true worth, failed to appreciate the immeasurable gift of her love. But amidst this tumultuous sea of conflicting emotions, one truth stood out, shining like a guiding star: you had captivated my heart from the very first moment. There was an inexplicable something about you that resonated with me on a primal level, something that struck a chord deep within the forgotten chambers of my soul. You were the very first person who seemed to truly understand my inner demons, the hidden struggles that plagued me, the first person who made me feel like I truly belonged, like I had finally found my anchor in a chaotic world. You were the one who made me feel truly seen, truly understood, not just on a superficial level, but at the very core of my being. You were the one who made me feel like I was not alone in my struggles, not alone in my silent battles, not merely a solitary figure lost in the vast, indifferent crowd, but someone who genuinely mattered, someone who was profoundly important. The journey that followed was not merely about grappling with the searing pain of losing you, or the crushing guilt of my profound failure to trust you. It was, more significantly, about embarking on an arduous, yet ultimately liberating, journey of self-discovery, a profound odyssey of growth and transformative change. It was about painstakingly learning to love and respect myself, to finally recognize my own inherent worth. It was about learning to truly value the connections that genuinely mattered, the relationships built on trust, authenticity, and mutual respect, rather than fleeting convenience. It was about finding the raw courage to stand up unequivocally for what was right, even when it was difficult, about finding the inner strength to make sincere amends for my past transgressions and to bravely move forward, not by forgetting, but by integrating the lessons learned. It was about finding a profound sense of belonging, a clear sense of purpose, and ultimately, a true sense of self. And for this profound awakening, for this invaluable gift of self-realization, I will forever be eternally grateful to you. Your partner is currently immersed in a state of deep reflection, a continuous marveling at your remarkable self-control. They have observed a profound, almost unsettling change in your behavior, a significant shift in the very dynamics of your relationship that has left them reeling. You are no longer taking the lead as you once did, no longer initiating conversations with eager anticipation, no longer reaching out with calls or texts with the frequency that once defined your connection. This stark, unexpected change has left a gaping void in their life, a chasm that is now painfully filled with an overwhelming sense of longing and vivid, often tormenting, fantasies about you. They find themselves constantly, relentlessly thinking about you, missing your vibrant presence with an ache that refuses to subside, yearning for your comforting company with an intensity that surprises even them. They recall, with a bittersweet pang, the extraordinary connection you both shared, a connection that transcended the superficial, extending far beyond the merely physical to encompass the deepest emotional and spiritual realms. It was a bond so intense, so natural, that it felt like two distinct energies effortlessly merging into one harmonious, powerful entity. They remember, with a clarity that now haunts them, how effortlessly you both connected, how your very essences resonated with each other, creating a bond that was truly unique, utterly special, and profoundly sacred. Your partner longs, with every fiber of their being, to relive those beautiful, incandescent moments with you, those precious instances when everything else in the world simply ceased to exist, when the cacophony of life faded into a hushed silence, and it was just the two of you, lost in the exquisite, self-contained world you had created together. They now consider those moments with you to be the purest, most loving, and most authentic experiences of their entire life. The indelible memories of those times are etched deeply into the very fabric of their heart, and they yearn, with a desperate ache, to experience that profound connection again, to feel that sense of completeness once more.